welcome as the Washington Spirit take on Racing Louisville in Leesburg, Virginia. I'm Erica Ayala. I will serve as your play-by-play for today. This is the Washington Spirit celebrating Juneteenth. And as part of that, they have partnered with the Black Women's Players Collective, BWPC, to advance opportunities for Black girls in sports and beyond. All of the players that hit the pitch today wore warm-up shirts honoring the Black Women's Players Collective, and 100% of those proceeds will go to BWPC as they aim to elevate the image, value, and representation of Black women as athletes and leaders across industries. Both of these teams looking for a win tonight. You've got Racing Louisville as we get started here. They are on a 3-game skid, whereas Washington has not won a game since May the 1st. Hoping to make good on an opportunity at home, as we see that's Trinity Rodman there. Both of these teams, again, looking for a win as we close out the regular season before a little bit of an international break. Plenty of players on both sides called up to their respective national teams. We'll get into that. So we have our first whistle. Advantage to Racing Louisville. Emily Fox brings the ball back over, and it will be, it looked like Howell was gonna take that. Get started once again. And you see right there, Cameron Begalski made contact there. Now we're getting the trainer on the pitch early in this match. Contact to the head is immediately going to call the officials over. That's Alex Chidiak coming off, and you can see towel to the face and streaks of blood on the forearm there as that ball was punted into play. We'll see if this is something that requires attention or if it's a matter of a quick cleanup and maybe a swab to the nose. We play on for now. So you see Kingsbury directing her team. Washington now. Sullivan, back to Sonnet, finds Sanchez, or as I say, Sanchez, to Rodman. Looking for Feist, a little too strong there. Washington couldn't connect. Katie London net for Louisville as their keeper. Opts to go short, and Rodman right there, playing aggressive. Gets one perhaps on the buttocks there. I'm sure that didn't feel well, but smart idea, playing aggressive. And once again, Katie Lund for Louisville. Opts now, it looks like, to kick this one long. See the class of the Washington team there, honoring Brittany Griner of the WNBA, among other tifos or signs that we see in the arena. You can see that the players for both teams trying to get acclimated and adjusted. So we still have quite a good amount of sun glare here as we get started. Punt by Lund goes long. And that was Rotter, Julia Rotter there to challenge, but Racing Louisville will get a throw in. Looking for McDonald. She boxes out, trying to make space there, but it's Washington ends up with the ball, but just far enough for another throw in for Racing Louisville. Again, both teams looking for a win. Racing Louisville, winless in their last 3, have also given up 6 in their last 2 games. Either team with an outright win would jump up to 6th place in the standings. Right now, they sit at 7 and 8 in the league. Or excuse me, 8 and 9, excuse me. Washington at 8, Racing Louisville at 9. Top of the table, expansion club, San Diego, followed by Chicago, Portland, Angel City, Houston, and OL Reign. Rodman, Hatch, overran that. You can see the speed.
Louisville substitution in the 6th minute. Entering the game, Amina Ichik. Leaving the game, number 27,
And we see
Alex
Chidiak not able to return. So Amina Ekic, number 13, we see has come on for Racing Louisville, having to make a substitution due to that collision that we saw. 50-50 ball. Chidiak, we saw come off with blood as we play game on here. Rodman looking for Hatch, but now Racing Louisville trying to spring Jessica McDonald. Had her hand up, thought maybe there was a handball contact, but you see that Washington was able to retreat, or excuse me, recover and close in on Jess McDonald there, who has been a great veteran for this Racing Louisville team. Smart play there. Sanchez pulls it back though. Sonnet. Bogalsi, Cameron Bogalsi plays that along the line, throws that one in. Rodman loses it to McDonald. And Racing Louisville trying to settle in. Dispossessed there by Sanchez. Washington in the dark jerseys. Racing Louisville in their whites tonight. You can see there on the bench the Black Women's Players Collective shirt being worn. Good pressure so far by the Washington Spirit. Racing Louisville has been up to the task though. Nice play there. Yeah, was thinking we were gonna see that card. Saw a tug on the jersey, clear as day there. Speaking of yellow cards, we have our first of the game. Look at this replay here. Just a great move there. A great move by Lauren Millay. And that's Rotter, who gets booked. Got beat, got booked. For Washington, they have, of all players, Trinity Rodman sitting on 3 yellow cards. If you collect 5, you sit out your club's next match. No one in danger of that as of yet, but something to keep in mind. Racing Louisville now. Once again dispossessed. Shot up the sideline and out of danger. As everyone's forced now back up the pitch, Racing Louisville with another throw in. Nice long throw in. Fight down by the goal line. Ultimately won by Washington. So it'll be Aubrey Kingsbury for Washington, starting keeper. Having a great season. Despite the struggles of Washington, again, are without a win. Have been able to draw a handful of times. Mentioned the standings. North Carolina Courage, winners of the preseason cup, kind of extended a little into the regular season. And in the basement right now. 12 teams, North Carolina at 12. Having difficulty finding their stride in the regular season. Quick start there by Kingsbury. Washington looking to push it up, but we see Racing Louisville with their own form of pressure. McDonald trying to pressure Sonnet, but she's able to find Sanchez. You might hear me interchangeably say Sanchez, just culturally. As Rodman now looking to track that one down, but a little bit too much once again. That leading ball by Ashley Sanchez. I'm gonna take a look at it again. Or excuse me, there was another touch there. Rodman trying to run that one down. Good idea there by Washington. They've got the right idea and they're able to, with their speed, with Rodman's speed in particular, if they can connect, they might be able to expose Racing Louisville on that right side of attack for Washington. Lund punts that one out. So Washington gonna get a throw in here. Got lots of players, including the one on the ball right now, or who was Sonnet, getting call-ups. A little bit of a misplay there, but get out of danger, Racing Louisville, for a moment at least. I like the aggressive play so far by both teams. Nice little turn by Andy Sullivan. Good to see her back with this Washington team. Has had a myriad of challenges that have kept her off the pitch. And Sullivan, they're glad to have her back as we see McDonald now on the run. Collects two back for Washington. And once again, we see Louisville dispossessed. That time, Ekich, who came in for Chidiac. And now we see Hatch using her size and speed, but good defensive play there by Louisville. Closed in on Hatch. Ekich in for Chidiac. Rodman trying to take Ekich off the ball. Racing Louisville retreats just a bit, get their form back, collect themselves. They're doing good to have their defensive line there to bail them out, but with an aggressive style from Washington, Louisville's gonna have to push forward, and they do right now. Ekich was looking to play that across. You had McDonald, but good play defensively by Washington. Able to get a leg and have that ball deflected. Bounces right to Kingsbury. He tosses it out to Sonnet. A little bit of a dangerous kick there. Still have a player down. 50-50 ball. Andy Sullivan high kicked that. And now another player for Racing Louisville down. Sullivan making sure to plead her case of no ill will meant. You just see this ball bounces up on Sullivan, and it's a high kick. Didn't initially, on the first look, see if there was contact. I'm not sure it was with the leg, to be honest. Maybe a poke on the hand. Hard to tell from that angle. But if I had to venture to guess, a little bit of discomfort, but perhaps not like what we saw with Chidiac. I think it was on the follow-through with Sullivan's upper body as opposed to on the kick lower body. But we'll see. Everyone else gets a water break now. That's DeMello. Savannah DeMello being looked at. It does look like her midsection is what's being checked out. She also gets a little hydration break. Thumbs up. Looks like we're good to go. Just not feeling great as the two again are able to reconcile. Sullivan certainly not looking to take DeMello down. She's going to come off just for a moment, more than likely. Yellow card is assessed. DeMello comes off just because she was looked at. And we'll resume play shortly, momentarily here. So already 2 yellow cards in this game, both against Washington. Like the aggressive style that both teams have brought to the game. A few things I'm sure both sides would like to clean up. But we're scoreless. Sullivan switches the attack. It's Elwell. Was dancing with the ball, loses it, but just for a moment. Flick on there, but Racing Louisville ends up with it, and now a little ticky-tack from both sides. Rodman to Sonnet, directing traffic. Was looking for Feist. And on cue, Feist a little feisty. Mentioned already 2 yellows in this match, both assessed to a Washington player. Jalen Howell was over the ball once again. I see this here. Another jersey pull. Seen that a few times already by Washington. They get beat, they pull that jersey. I think there was a little forearm push as well there. Ball is back to Washington. On the feet of Feist. Now Sonnet. Cuts through the middle. Looking for I think that's Elwell. Had Hatch down the middle. And you hear the crowd. They like that. They like that look. It's going to lead to a corner kick here. First one of the match in favor of the home squad. Sonnet, there you go. Indeed, yes, that was over to Elwell, who is looking for Hatch here. Or Rodman, I should say, was also there. Short to Sanchez. Sanchez again. Great defense there. Corner awarded, though. Great job. Just what a heads-up play here by Sanchez. Dancing along the line. And at the last minute, you see, he's able to get Louisville to bite. I believe that was Lester in the mix. Sun in the face of Racing Louisville. Katie Lund. Once again, we see it played short by Washington. Ball in. You get a corner. You get a corner. All corners here. On the one hand, Racing Louisville not taking any chances. They're willing to concede the corner, which so far has been short. Looks like they might switch it up. Washington, that is. Ball in. Pushed out. Rebound. And once again, a corner. You see Racing Louisville, the way they played that as we see this ball come in. Great job to head it out of the way. And no one quite knew. You didn't see Racing Louisville after that deflection go after the ball. Another corner, another header away. Washington collects. Ball in. Rodman! Goal! Oh no, they say offside. Rodman, what a play. Sonnet came in. The crowd likes it. You've seen exactly what Washington wants to do in this match. Unfortunate to get that called offside. Ball in, Rodman with the header. And yeah, it wasn't Sonnet that was offside. I think that might have been Staub. That was floating a little bit there. But Washington showing what they want to do. The players able to connect here. Worth noting that Washington has several players unavailable for this match. They have some players that will be national team replacements, as now they're on the attack once again. Racing Louisville having some trouble trying to chip. Nice little idea there. As Katie Lund getting her fair share of action. Who else, right? Sanchez cuts across, and then looking for Elwell. Header trying to chip a little bit there. Giving lots of different looks to this Racing Louisville team. Washington, as I mentioned, has not won a match outright since May the 1st. 5-1. They're looking to get it done here tonight in front of their fans, their home fans, as they celebrate Juneteenth, the head-to-head. And it is still early in this match. Washington with the lion's share of possession from my eye test, for whatever that counts for. Playing maybe a little bit timid once again. Maybe would have done well to settle that ball down as opposed to just flick it towards the goal line in this case, which of course leads to yet another Washington Spirit corner. Arms up, ball in. Sonnet trying to flick that on. Had a few targets there. Hatch now. Had Hatch there. You know Rodman was there. Elwell as well. Kind of a tweener there. Again, that was, the target was Sonnet to get a flick on there. And then find on the second touch. Washington really liking these set pieces. Hasn't led to anything for Washington yet, but like the idea. And Washington pleading their case, but we play on. This will be a throw-in for Racing Louisville, still looking to cross that center line and get something going offensively. Ball out of the reach. Jess McDonald with the throw-in. Long-ish throw-in. As we know, Jess McDonald is capable of much longer throw-ins. Part of her repertoire, if you will. Another shorty. Settled down by Howell. Howell again. Racing Louisville looking to get something going. Overshot that cross a little bit there. Rodman now with it for Washington. Nice little ball there. But Howell dispossesses Washington. Yeah, nice little move there by Olofsson. And you saw her hand go up, trying to make a case for a little bit of a pull, a nudge there. Looked like Rodman and another player closed in. What a tackle by Elwell. Racing Louisville sauntering over. Sun a factor, especially on that side of the pitch, as you can see. Gemma Bonner wearing the captain's band for Racing Louisville gets it started again. Sonnet finds it with her head. Racing Louisville settles it down but gives it away. Oh! Ashley Hatch would have been off to the races. Good defensive play there by Racing Louisville, but that negates the offensive attack unless they can get the ball back here and on cue. Galsey with a awkward touch there, but Washington gets it back. Sonnet back to Kingsbury, has to play it with her feet. Racing Louisville, DeMello there, aggressive. DeMello's been such a spark plug for this Racing Louisville team that again is struggling on a 3-game skid. See this ball chip there, kind of falls down, awkwardly played there by Sonnet, knowing though that Jess McDonald is there, frantic to get that ball out of the zone. And it goes to Washington. Racing Louisville looking to settle in. Not liking that. A few aggressive kicks and tackles there, but Racing Louisville gets the benefit of the doubt. Still though, having difficulty entering into their attacking third once again, as is the case. Rodman overshot that one. Fox retrieves it. Bonner finds DeMello. To Howell. McDonald on the flank. Cross coming. Punted away. Throw in Racing Louisville. Longer throw there. well wide and beyond the goal line. Nothing to it there. +30 already gone in this first half. Scoreless between Racing Louisville, who visits Washington on their Juneteenth celebration. Again, lifting up the Black Women's Players Collective, founded by the players of the National Women's Soccer League. Now Washington, once again, trying to find their way. Good defensive effort there by Racing Louisville, but Washington back at it. Ball in, Hatch, header. You can see that she liked that ball in. Knew that she didn't quite get what she wanted on it. Gives the thumbs up though. That's more or less been what we've seen from Washington. Not quite able to execute that final touch. Save for Sonnet, but didn't matter as it was offside. Flag was up. Looking to find that magic again is Washington. Here they go. Hatch stays on. Got Rodman and Sanchez. That one went over Hatch. Bugalsi couldn't corral it. Backline there to recollect for Washington. Now to Sonnet as the attack is switched over to Rodman. Great young player. Sonnet. Hatch. That was chipped. Not really to anyone in particular. As is always the case, part of playing that good possession game is passing with intent. Not quite the case there for Washington, but they recollect. For a moment at least. Now Racing Louisville. Again, that's Ekich in for Chidiak, who came off. Shot to the face. Left her bleeding. And Kingsbury comes out there. It was only her team that she was fending off. No one from Racing Louisville there in the box to make it interesting. Ekich there, as we see on the replay. Great job there to find Fox. But nobody else there. Settles it down. Ball to nowhere. You see Howell putting her arm up, knew that there was a mistake, and now will Rodman make him pay? She does! You saw that Jalen Howell put her hand up, knew that that was a my bad moment, and it turns into a goal for Trinity Rodman. Washington up 1-0. Here it goes. Look at that turnover. And if you look, Howell, puts her hand up. And oh my, what a ball in. Trinity Rodman goes where Lund is not. You see Fox retreating, couldn't get there. Lund makes a lunge, but Trinity Rodman found the perfect spot. Nothing to be done there. Also had Lester coming back. If this were hockey, we'd call that a back check, but couldn't get there in time to get that ball out of danger. So now Racing Louisville behind. They find themselves behind 1-0 in this first half. Possession has been in the pocket of Washington all game. Louisville, a team known to fight. We'll see how that first goal charges them up. Obviously, we also had that offside here, as now Saw they were trying to look for McDonald, find her at her feet, but it's these little ticky-tack balls, both teams, time to time. Instead of maintaining possession or losing it. You see Washington reminding themselves to settle in, settle down a little. Rodman there. The only goal in this match so far. Reset here for Racing Louisville. Rodman with the lone goal in this game. That's her second of this regular season. Young player. Revolutionizing the pay structure for players, able to negotiate a pretty nice deal for herself and made sure to let folks know that while her contract might have been the first of its kind, she stands on the shoulders of all those who in now 10 seasons of the NWSL have made it possible for even to be a pro. As we see now, Bugalsi looking for Hatch. Elwell came in late, trying to make something of it, forces Louisville to kick that to the sideline. So this will be a throw-in for Washington. 10th season of the NWSL, 21 players have been here for all 10. Amazing. Nicole Barnhart, one of them. Kelly O'Hara. As you see, that was Sanchez, looking to get past Lund. Easy save there for Racing Louisville, new franchise, but of course, Jess McDonald has been with the NWSL all 10 seasons. Amazing to see how this league has grown, even really from last season, let alone in the last 9. Very much so from the players, including, as I've mentioned a few times, the Black Women's Players Collective. NWSL was the first league to restart in the summer, coming off of COVID. And among other things, the pandemic, unfortunately, was not the only thing that we, certainly as a country, were dealing with. And a lot of the players utilizing their voice, so important to interweave that into a conversation that is, for Washington at least, because this will be their last game, or their only game of the weekend. Thus, we won't have a match on June 19th, which is the actual date of Juneteenth. As you see Hatch push from behind by Bonner. A little too aggressive there. It'll be a restart for Washington. But the players taking on so much mental health. Talking about the disproportionate killing of Black bodies in this country. Lots of players taking on, as you see, looking there for Feist. Lund will get this going for Racing Louisville. Just amazing to see how the players have utilized their voice in so many ways, and certainly have educated themselves in the process as well as their fan base. Racing Louisville trying to get something going. DeMello takes a tumble. DeMello hit the deck a few times already. Sullivan gets tied up here. Doesn't like the call. I'm inclined to agree with it. Sullivan wearing that captain's armband for the Washington Spirit. Washington looking for the break. Elwell looking upfield. Is trying to connect with Hatch. Mentioned that we have a handful of call-ups that we'll discuss here. Washington, they have 9. Louisville with 7, including, of course, the United States, also the U13 team. DeMello, one of those for Louisville. US U13, hello, what? U23, my mistake there. Definitely older than that. Hatch, and the follow! That has been the coup de grace, the follow-ups for Washington. And that's going to be Elwell. As you see here, Sonnet gonna get this started. To Bagalsi. Looks for Hatch the first time. Lund with the first save. And it's Elwell to collect. You see that it was Bonner was there. Went up to contest with Hatch, which allowed Lund to make that first save. But then, absent of Bonner and Lund, there was no one else from Racing Louisville marking up Madison Elwell. Gets the second goal for the Washington Spirit in this first half. Really great heads-up play by Washington, but for Louisville, there's got to be someone else helping to mark up there. Bonner was busy in the air with Hatch, as you want. Lund made the first save, and then a little bit of ball watching, I have to believe, for Racing Louisville. So the first goal came from Rodman. On a misplayed ball that then Washington was able to push upfield. Little things, little mistakes that are biting Louisville and have them in a 2-goal hole here against Washington. As we are bound to have stoppage time. Again, we had an early substitution. Chidiac had to come off the pitch. Amina Ekic, number 13, came in. We had DeMello down for a little bit. And it's 2 minutes.
Has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes added to the half.
As you heard there by the PA, a minimum of 2 minutes added on. Jess McDonald got held up. Didn't look like anything too aggressive, but Jess McDonald, slow to get up here, fell aggressively to the ground. And wonder if on that fall might have injured something. She is in a lot of discomfort. And to be determined if it's just something cramping up. Appears to be working her way into her stride and will play on, but is uncomfortable. Service in. McDonald, one of the targets there. To no avail. Washington has Rodman trying to get this ball. Lester does a good job. So, eating away at that 2 minutes of stoppage. Shot in, hits the crossbar right in the corner. Lund had to dive for that, a little deceptive there. A shot in by Washington, another one. McDonald, a little slow there, still fighting though. My goodness, Washington at the half. 2 goals and the lion's share of chances here as they have this match right where they want it as we head to halftime.